think it's an okay thing. That's sort of the basis behind the Olympics, is that it brings everybody together. And
it was just a real sort of emotional thing, you know, to see the two Koreas come out together. A lot of tension, and it was diffused, and just a beautiful, beautiful night.
It's better that they're working together than against each other.
By the way, that first woman we spoke with won a medal at the 1980 Winter Olympics at Lake Placid. Politics was a big deal then, too, between the U.S. and the then Soviet Union. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Julie.
Greg, thank you so much. Lawmakers end a government shutdown hours after it begins, but the compromise over how to spend your tax dollars, not exactly coming without some D.C. drama. What else is new? So who are the winners? Who are the losers? Following the latest budget battle, we're going to take a closer look still ahead. Plus, it is being called the most intense combat between two arch enemies in years. An Israeli warplane shot down after Israel launches massive airstrikes on Syria. So what started this escalation in violence? Next.
Iran seeks to use Syrian territory to attack Israel for its professed goal of destroying Israel. This morning, Iran brazenly violated Israel's sovereignty.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. And I don't share it with Mom, right, Mom? Right.
Safe driving bonus checks only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
I love Ebates. I have made $511.34.
It's the easiest thing. You shop and you get money. There's no hassles, no gimmicks, nothing.
Join today and get a $10 bonus at ebates.com.
Gold can become a lesser metal.
If after you succeed, you decide to settle.
Keep focused on what's ahead.
And keep yourself on course.
Because better is a never-ending quest.
The all-new Accord with Honda Sensing. Now with standard safety features that can help you stop or stay in your lane. It's our most impressive Honda ever.
Even tough guys have a tender side. For Golden Corral's prime rib and shrimp spectacular. Slow roasted prime rib, premium butterfly shrimp, bone-in catfish, plus everything else. Just $13.99 every night. Woo! It's time to saddle up. The prime rib and shrimp spectacular, only $13.99. We have over 150 choices, but the only one that matters is yours. Golden Corral, your choice rules.
This is something that I'm really passionate about. I really want to help.
I was on my way out of this life.
There are patients out there that don't have a lot of time.
Finally, it was like the sun rose again, and I was going to start fighting back now.
When those patients come to me and say, "You saved my life,"
my life was saved by a 2-week-old targeted therapy drug.
That's what really drives me to save lives.
I accept I don't bike the miles I used to. I even accept I have a higher risk of stroke due to AFib, a type of irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. But no matter where I ride, I go for my best. So if there's something better than warfarin, I'll go for that too. Eliquis. Eliquis reduced the risk of stroke better than warfarin, plus had less major bleeding than warfarin. Eliquis had both.
Don't stop taking Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to, as stopping increases your risk of having a stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for any bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding, like unusual bruising. Eliquis may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
I'm still going for my best, and for Eliquis.
Ask your doctor about Eliquis.
A Fox Urgent now. Fox News has confirmed Secretary of State Rex Tillerson has spoken with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today, in fact, after Israel launched massive airstrikes inside Syria, marking a military operation we have not seen in years. Israel says the strikes were in retaliation for an unmanned Iranian drone that apparently infiltrated its northern airspace. David Lee Miller joins us from Jerusalem.
Julie, an Israeli fighter jet was shot down while conducting an air raid over Syria. Events leading up to the incident are in dispute.
Early Saturday morning, Israel says an Iranian surveillance drone crossed its northern border with Syria. Israel accuses the Iranians of establishing military facilities in Syria to support the regime of Bashar al-Assad. Israel released video of what it says was the infiltration. The drone was reportedly in Israeli airspace for about a minute when Israeli authorities say it was shot down by an Apache helicopter. Iran, meanwhile, would not confirm Israel's account and called the Israeli version of events ridiculous. Syria says the drone never crossed the border and was gathering data on ISIS. Hours later, Israel struck back. Israeli officials say during a series of air raids targeting the drone's mobile launcher and other Iranian and Syrian defensive batteries, its planes encountered massive anti-aircraft fire. An Israeli F-16 crash-landed on the Israeli side of the border. Its 2 pilots ejected, but 1 was seriously wounded. The last time an Israeli aircraft was shot down by enemy fire was more than 3 decades ago during the First Lebanon War. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the drone's infiltration that sparked the hostilities was not unexpected.
Iran seeks to use Syrian territory to attack Israel for its professed goal of destroying Israel. This morning, Iran brazenly violated Israel's sovereignty. They dispatched an Iranian drone from Syrian territory into Israel, and this demonstrates that our warnings were 100% correct. Israel holds Iran and its Syrian host responsible for today's aggression. We will continue to do whatever is necessary to protect our sovereignty and our security.
Russia, which has troops in Syria, is calling on all sides to de-escalate the tension. The Pentagon says the U.S. supports Israel's right to defend itself. And underscoring just how volatile the situation was here today, for a brief period of time, Israel shut down its main airport over concern Syria and its allies could launch a missile attack from the north. Julie?
David Lee Miller reporting from Jerusalem. Thank you, David. Meantime, 2 police officers back here at home killed in the line of duty after responding to a hang-up 911 call. Now, leaders from the state's governor to President Trump are reacting as a police force mourns tonight. Plus, an illegal immigrant convicted of killing 2 deputies showing no remorse. What he said in the courtroom to the victims' families. Still ahead.
This killer is a despicable human being. Nothing can bring Danny back, and so for that, there'll always be that void.
Today, we're out here with some big news. Jardiance is the only type 2 diabetes pill proven to both significantly reduce the chance of dying from a cardiovascular event in adults who have type 2 diabetes and heart disease, and lower your A1C. Wow!
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration. This may cause you to feel dizzy, faint, or lightheaded, or weak upon standing. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. Symptoms include nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, and trouble breathing. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of ketoacidosis or an allergic reaction. Symptoms of an allergic reaction include rash, swelling, and difficulty breathing or swallowing. Do not take Jardiance if you are on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Other side effects are sudden kidney problems, genital yeast infections, increased bad cholesterol, and urinary tract infections, which may be serious. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar. Tell your doctor about all the medicines you take and if you have any medical conditions.
What do you think? I think it's time to think about Jardiance. Ask your doctor about Jardiance and get to the heart of what matters.
Bigger doesn't mean stronger. Don't be defined by a weight class. Introducing the all-new Terrain, the compact SUV from GMC. Mighty like a pro, the all-new Terrain.
Current lessees switch to GMC and get this low-mileage lease on this all-new 2018 Terrain SLE for around $249 per month with $999 due at signing.
Inside the spending bill, the military, the debt ceiling, and keeping the government open. Budget Director Mick Mulvaney breaks down every critical angle on the next Fox News Sunday.
Looking for a safer way to burn yard waste? Stop.
don't burn in a rusty barrel like this. Burn the safe way with the Burn Cage. It doesn't just burn, it incinerates, leaving nothing behind but fine ash. And when you're done, the Burn Cage folds up neatly for storage.
For a free information kit about the Burn Cage, call 1-800-731-6693. That's 1-800-731-6693. Online at burncage.com.
Wednesday on FX, the assassination of Gianni Versace, the compelling follow-up to The People vs. O.J. Simpson, takes the series to another level. Critics call it remarkable, ambitious and rattling, a gripping feast for the eyes. It's Ryan Murphy's masterpiece. Don't miss the first great show of 2018. The assassination of Gianni Versace, all new, Wednesday at 10 on FX.
2 police officers have died after a shooting in Westerville, Ohio. It is about 15 miles north of Columbus. A tragic day today. Officers Eric Joring and Anthony Morelli were responding to a 911 hang-up call when they were fired upon by a cowardly suspect who is now in custody tonight. The police department holding an extremely emotional news conference earlier today. President Trump tweeting on the incident as well. My thoughts and prayers are with the 2 police officers, their families, and everybody at the Westerville Police Department. Brian Yanis is live with more. This is probably one of the most gut-wrenching, heart-wrenching news conferences I've ever had to watch.
Yes, I would agree with that. This is a small family of police officers there in Westerville, and the 2 fallen Westerville officers were Officer Tony Morelli and Officer Eric Joring. 39-year-old Officer Joring was a 17-year veteran of the police force. 54-year-old Officer Tony Morelli was a 20-year veteran. This afternoon, Westerville Police Chief Morbitzer painfully spoke about these fallen heroes.
True American heroes. 2 gave their life today responding to calls of assistance out of a potential domestic situation. Both officers gave their life in protection of others. Those are true American heroes.
This shooting took place in the Ohio suburb of Westerville, 15 miles north of Columbus. According to the police chief, at 12:02 p.m. local time, police received a 911 hang-up call. 8 minutes later, both police officers arrived at the apartment responding to a possible domestic situation. As soon as they arrived, they were met with gunfire.
She is secure. I think medics now. We have 2 officers down, critical. Suspect is down, also shot.
Just a harrowing sound there. A long procession of police officers led the bodies of the fallen heroes from the OSU hospital to the Franklin County Coroner's Office. Governor John Kasich, who lives with his family in a nearby township, tweeted, "I've spoken with Westerville's city leaders and Chief Morbitzer and pledged whatever support they need from the Highway Patrol. We extend our prayers and deep condolences to their families and fellow officers. Let's pledge ourselves to never forget their service." The suspect is in custody, wounded at the hospital. The Fraternal Order of Police of Ohio has set up a GoFundMe page for the fallen officers' families. GoFundMe.com/FOP Lodge 9 Help Fund. You have it there on the bottom of your screen. Give if you can for these 2 families who are going through unspeakable tragedy.
And also offer up your prayers for them as well. It is just so tragic and so unnecessary. Brian Yanis, thank you. Another tragic reminder about the dangers law enforcement face every day in every community across our country. An illegal immigrant, speaking of cowards, convicted of killing 2 deputies, smiling as the judge read the verdict and threatening to kill even more officers as he was led out of the courtroom. A jury found him guilty of murder in the shooting deaths of 2 Sacramento area deputies in 2014. Will Carr joins us now with more. Will?
And Julie, this case has already turned political. In fact, President Trump's re-election campaign has been airing this ad that features now convicted cop killer Luis Bracamontes.
It's pure evil. President Trump is right. Build the wall. Deport criminals.
After being convicted for their murders, Bracamontes had the chance to look the officers' families in the eyes yesterday, but instead of offering remorse, he hurled the exact opposite. He could be seen blowing kisses and smiling. Bracamontes shot and killed Deputy Danny Oliver and Detective Michael Davis Jr. back in 2014. On Friday, he went as far to pledge that he wanted to kill more members of law enforcement as he's being escorted out of the courtroom. Take a listen.
We find the defendant guilty. You further find
We'll kill more cops soon.
I'm going to kill more cops soon, is what he said in the courtroom. Bracamontes was also convicted of attempted murder and carjacking. His attorneys say that he was suffering from mental illness, that he was on meth when he killed the officers. But in the end, a jury just wasn't buying that as a legitimate excuse. He's now facing the death penalty.
There's really no joy. It's more of, I think, a quiet satisfaction.
The death penalty phase of his trial starts on March 5th. Julie.
Will Carr, thank you. Lawmakers keeping the lights on with the passage of a massive bipartisan budget deal. We're going to break down the winners and losers and whether Republicans are running up the kind of debt that they railed against under the Obama administration.
It's too bad a lot of it is political, right? Everybody's smart enough to know this is fundamentally bad, right? When you got $21 trillion in debt and we've got a $1 trillion deficits as far as the eye can see.
It's absolute confidence in 30,000 precision parts. Or it isn't. It's inspected by Mercedes-Benz factory-trained technicians. Or it isn't. It's backed by an unlimited mileage warranty. Or it isn't. For those who never settle, it's either Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned or it isn't. The Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned sales event now through February 28th, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
Ancestry DNA is only $69. And now, with more than 150 ethnic regions to connect to, it's the perfect time to find out where your greatness comes from. Save 30% at AncestryDNA.com.
Your insurance company won't replace the full value of your totaled new car. The guy says, you picked the wrong insurance plan. No, I picked the wrong insurance company.
With new car replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car, plus depreciation. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
At Safe Flight Auto Glass, we know that when you're spending time with the grandkids, every minute counts. And you don't have time for a cracked windshield. That's why at Safe Flight, we'll show you exactly when we'll be there with a replacement you can trust. Well done, sir. Looks great. Thanks for choosing Safe Flight. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Saving you time so you can keep saving the world.
Safe Flight Repair. Safe Flight Replace.
It's Lumber Liquidators Spring Flooring Kickoff Sale. Our stores are packed with deals on the hottest flooring trends of 2018, like Woodlook waterproof flooring. Choose from the latest styles of vinyl plank, Woodlook tile, and more, up to 24% off. Save on the newest laminate, including water-resistant styles, all on sale. Get over 275 hardwood and bamboo floors, all on sale, including fresh new designs. Get more from 49 cents professional installation and 48-month financing. Get to the Lumber Liquidators Spring Flooring Kickoff Sale today.
I have type 2 diabetes. I'm trying to manage my A1C, and then I learned type 2 diabetes puts me at greater risk for heart attack or stroke. Can one medicine help treat both blood sugar and cardiovascular risk? I asked my doctor. He told me about non-insulin Victoza. Victoza is not only proven to lower A1C and blood sugar, but for people with type 2 diabetes treating their cardiovascular disease, Victoza is also approved to lower the risk of major CV events such as heart attack, stroke, or death. And while not for weight loss, Victoza may help you lose some weight.
Victoza is not for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not take Victoza if you have a personal or family history of medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Victoza or any of its ingredients. Stop taking Victoza and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck or symptoms of a serious allergic reaction such as rash, swelling, difficulty breathing, or swallowing. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis. So stop taking Victoza and call your doctor right right away if you have severe pain in your stomach area. Tell your doctor your medical history. Gallbladder problems have happened in some people. Tell your doctor right away if you get symptoms. Taking Victoza with the sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar. Common side effects are nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, decreased appetite, indigestion, and constipation. Side effects can lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
Change the course of your treatment. Ask your doctor about Victoza.
Capitol Hill emerging from the brink of yet another budget standoff as lawmakers pass a massive bipartisan spending bill. The measure, signed by President Trump on Friday, pours tens of billions of dollars into military and domestic programs. It also lifts spending caps and extends the debt limit. More than 70 House Democrats voted for it, breaking from Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, who obviously opposed the bill because it didn't address DACA. Fighting against it in the Senate was Kentucky's Rand Paul, who is now accusing his party of fiscal hypocrisy.
This new stimulus of deficit spending will be as big as President Obama's stimulus. Don't you remember when Republicans howled to high heaven that President Obama was spending us into the gutter, spending us into oblivion? And now Republicans are doing the same thing.
Let's bring back Niall Stanage, White House columnist for The Hill. Man, I nailed your last name on that one. So who are the winners and the losers from the overnight shutdown?
You were a winner in the pronunciation games there. In terms of the overnight shutdown, this is one of the interesting things where the centre did hold, I think, in this case. We got an agreement that the congressional leaders, like Rand Paul, obviously didn't love it. But also, you know, a lot of the Democrats on the left of the party, they're not thrilled about this deal at all either, because it leaves the DACA recipients behind.
So you got your winners, Paul Ryan, Schumer, and Mitch McConnell. Okay, your losers, the Freedom Caucus and deficit hawks?
Yeah, because this does increase spending by a very significant amount. I mean, we're talking about approximately $300 billion over a couple of years.
Right.
And it, as you pointed out in your introduction, Julie, it busts through the previous spending caps. Right. So those people, the Freedom Caucus type guys, they're not thrilled with this at all.
Okay, I'm not calling these people's losers. It's just that this was in the Hill. Okay, let's talk losers.
Blame me. It's
Nancy Pelosi. Again, I'm going by the Hill here. Nancy Pelosi mixed and Rand Paul. Let's talk Nancy Pelosi, because her magic minute, or what I'd like to call a 480-minute speech on DACA, some called it grandstanding. Nonetheless, she is most disappointed with the fact that DACA did not make it into this. And she had something to say about it, and I want to put this statement up on the screen. The fight in the House to protect Dreamers is not over. I'm greatly disappointed that the Speaker does not have the courage to lift the shadow of fear from the lives of these inspiring young people. What was the scene behind the scenes? What was the feeling behind the scenes as the speech, first of all, was being carried out? And it really didn't get Democrats anywhere.
The blunt answer is that I think the speech was seen as a bit of a gimmick and a bit of a distraction. Nancy Pelosi made that speech, and it became a big thing on social media among people who agree with her. But it was distracting from the fact that she didn't get anything for the so-called Dreamers. That didn't work. It was cut out of the deal entirely. That's a problem for people like Nancy Pelosi with her own base, because her own base is very vigorous on that issue, and she didn't really bring home anything that they could, you know, hang their hat on.
All in all, though, this was a big win for Republicans. I mean, it was a big win for the military. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis scored in military funding, and that was something they were concerned about if the government were to shut down again. What does this bipartisan spending agreement actually show, first of all, about the government, and what does it say about the Trump administration and their ability to actually get something done?
Good news, I think, in that respect. I mean, one of the critiques of the Trump administration and of Congress was that it had become dysfunctional. To that extent, anytime Congress gets anything done in a bipartisan way, it's a good thing. It shows government works. Anytime you show government works, that's a good thing for the people in power. And obviously, we have President Trump and Republicans holding both majorities in both chambers.
I want to talk about spending. There's a bit of a double standard here. First of all, the Democrats feel like, for the not including the 70 Democrats that voted for this, say that this is an enormous amount of money. I mean, Rand Paul, a Republican, he voted against it because he said it's an enormous amount of money. It's actually the same kind of stimulus that went into, effect under the Obama administration, but for some reason, it's getting more criticism now. I do want to play one additional soundbite from Rand Paul addressing this matter and then have your reaction. Go ahead and play that. Okay, we don't have it. So basically what he says is that this new stimulus of deficit spending will be as big as President Obama's stimulus. Don't you remember when Republicans hailed to high heaven that Obama was spending us into the gutter, spending us into oblivion? And now Republicans are doing the same thing. Are they?
Well, there's a lot of spending in this bill. Now, they argue that it's for important things like the military, which is getting the bulk of it. But look, the big picture here is everyone's against government spending in the abstract, but not against government spending taken away from things they want. That's why we get a situation where whoever's in power suddenly finds the idea of deficit reduction less appealing than they did when they were in opposition.
We've got John Yarmuth. He spoke earlier with Neil Cavuto, and he basically talks about the rising cost of government debt. And that is something a lot of people will look to and say, look, this is a lot of money, and our debt is massive. Can we afford more debt? Of course, with the tax cuts, that was one of the arguments, that, you know, you give these tax cuts and, again, more debt. Let's play Yarmuth's interview if we have that portion.
Do you worry now the markets are going to take up a sort of momentum of their own and all of a sudden compound your problems and compound the debt?
Well, absolutely. You've already got about, I think, 7 basis points increase in 10-year treasuries over the last 6 months. You get another increase like that, and it becomes a real serious problem. And I think that's more probable than it is unlikely.
So the question is, does the rising cost of government debt seem to be sparking and spooking the markets?
Absolutely, that's a real possibility. The markets like the fiscal house to be in order, as we say.
Yeah.
That is always a difficult thing to do in the political world because it involves taking things away from people, and that's a difficult thing to do in politics.
Okay, so then what can we tell people about the market? Because we've been watching the market this week. It's been very startling, and the president has been very proud of the fact that the market has reached all-time highs during his over 1 year now in office. But this week, it has hit historic lows. They talk about correction and that this is something that's normal and that people should not be panicking and selling off. What do we tell people?
Well, I wish I could predict it, otherwise I could make my fortune. But, I mean, the difficulty here is that any time a politician ties their own fortunes to those of the stock market, they leave themselves exposed to these kind of fluctuations. Having said all that, the stock market is in a much improved place over the course of the Trump presidency. It's up by a very serious margin. So obviously the hope will be that this does not reverse itself. It's a correction, but that's still 10% off an all-time high.
Yeah. All right, Niall Stanage, thank you very much. Great to have you.
And you, Julie.
I'm so happy that after a 4th or 5th pronunciation, I've really gotten your name. All right, thank you. A high-tech company may be tracking your movement through your phone even when it is disconnected. No joke. Have you ever been on that show, Big Brother? Well, you actually are every day of your life. Coming up next, we're going to have a report on the stealthy tactics used to collect data from your cell phones and how companies can turn it around for profit.
Somebody's watching you. Somebody's watching you. Somebody's watching you. Somebody's watching.
I'm Sarah.
Matthew Bubble Tummy III.
Getting judged on your name is tough. At Overstock, our name makes people think we sell overstock goods, but it's really beautiful new furniture and home decor, all at Overstock prices.
The delicate skin on your neck can show age. Or not.
Gold Bond Neck and Chest Cream helps improve texture and increase elasticity. 97% had visibly firmer skin. Gold Bond Neck and Chest for visibly firmer skin.
I've got to say, I love the new place.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I took your advice and had Geico help with renter's insurance. It was really easy.
Easy? That'd be nice.
For help with chairs, say chair. For help with bookcases, say bookcase.
Bookcase.
I thought this was the dresser.
Isn't that the bed?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. For help with chairs, say chair.
Does this mean we're not going out?
Bookcase.
See how easy renter's insurance can be at geico.com.
This is the story of Green Mountain Coffee Roasters Dark Magic, told in the time it takes to brew your cup. First, we head to Vermont and go to our coffee shop and meet Dave.
Hey.
Why is Dark Magic so spellbindingly good, he asks? Let me show you.
Let's go.
So we climb, hike, see a bear. Whoa. Reach the top. Dave says Dark Magic is a bold blend of coffee with rich flavors of Uganda, Sumatra, Colombia, and other parts of South America. Like these mountains, each amazing on their own, but together, magical. All for a smoother tasting cup of coffee. Green Mountain Coffee Roasters, packed with goodness.
Harold, you're gonna fly to Mexico and deliver the formula to the lab.
I've been kidnapped! What the mother?
What a crybaby.
Just stay focused.
I am focused. Somebody's going down. What is going on?
Oh, no, don't do
You really believe in God?
Of course I believe in God. What kind of person does not believe in God?
I guess I kind of do, but...
Gringo. Rated R. In theaters March 9th.
If you have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, little things can be a big deal. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not an injection or a cream. It's a pill that treats psoriasis differently. With Otezla, 75% clear skin is achievable after just 4 months, with reduced redness, thickness, and scaliness of plaques. And the Otezla prescribing information has no requirement for routine lab monitoring. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. Otezla may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Tell your doctor if these occur. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Other side effects include upper respiratory tract infection and headache. Tell your doctor about all the medicines you take and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Otezla, show more of you.
Fox News Channel on Sirius XM. Your favorite shows on Channel 114. Plus, every story, every 15 minutes. Fox News headlines 24/7 at Channel 115.
At least 18 people are dead, dozens more injured after a double-decker bus crashes in Hong Kong. Crews cutting open the roof in order to free passengers trapped inside. It is still not clear what caused the crash, although the bus is said to have been speeding. Well, Google, get this, may be tracking you even when your phone is not connected. How is that, you wonder? Well, the company collects data and then uses that to sell targeted ads to users. The business model is called surveillance capitalism. But does that data collection work even when your phone is disconnected or on airplane mode? Fox News Headlines 24/7 anchor Brett Larson did some investigating on Tucker Carlson's show this week, and you join us here with some answers. And you guys found some pretty startling stuff.
It was very startling. And mind you, we all know that Google is keeping an eye on us. We knew that going into this. They've been keeping an eye on us online for years. But now that they have a mobile operating system, exactly what do they know about where we're going? Take a look. We know that Google is tracking us. We agree to it when we set up our phones. So we wanted to figure out what exactly Google is learning about us throughout the day. So here's what we're going to do. We have two identical phones. The only difference between these two phones is this one is in airplane mode. Both of the phones lack a SIM card, and they haven't been set up to access any Wi-Fi networks. So for all intents and purposes, these phones have no connection to a data network. We're going to keep them with us throughout the day. And while I travel around D.C., we're going to figure out just what Google is finding out about me.
Our first stop, Sim's Convenience Store, just outside our Fox bureau, for a quick coffee. From there, we took a walk to the Capitol and took a quick walk around the Senate office buildings, and then decided to hop in a car and head around town.
Hello. We're going to the Children's Hospital, please.
To run our test, we had to do more than walk the block, so we took a tour around our nation's capital. First, due north to the Children's National Medical Center Hospital, then west to St. Albans School and the National Cathedral. Our tour around town was a 14-mile journey that lasted more than an hour. The entire time, the phones had no access to the internet.
Oh my goodness.
Not a Wi-Fi connection and not any cellular data service. It almost seemed quaint to assume that Google wouldn't even be able to collect data on me.
Let's head back to the bureau, my friend. Ugh, that church is beautiful.
Google's business model is simple. Collect data on its users and then use that data to sell targeted ads. It's a business model called surveillance capitalism. But does that critical data collection work even when your phones aren't connected?
So we're back here at our Fox bureau in D.C., and we've got both of our phones exactly how we left with them. The only difference, really, I snapped a couple of bad selfies at the National Cathedral. But otherwise, they have stayed in my pocket for the entire day. So let's find out what they know. This is our man-in-the-middle device. It's basically a Wi-Fi network that these phones are going to connect to once we turn their Wi-Fi on. It's going to pass data through it on the way to Google. But on the way, we're actually going to get a copy of the same data that Google's going to get. We'll be able to decrypt it and then find out where we've been throughout the day.
Within minutes, the numbers rolled in. The phone that wasn't on airplane mode registered more than 100 locations, 130 activities, and even 152 barometric readings. As soon as it hooked up to our Wi-Fi, it transmitted 300 kilobytes of data straight to Google. The phone even logged our exact locations, tracking us all around town, the Capitol, the hospital, the school, and the cathedral.
Now, you may notice what's missing here is the exact route that we took, but it got that data too. It knows when I got out of the car.
The metadata has a time log down to the very second, tracking everything when they think that you're walking, riding, and yes, even getting out of the car.
Okay, so you're thinking, this isn't a big deal. I'll just put my phone in airplane mode. Yeah, we thought of that too. This is the other phone that we had with us that no SIM card also remained in airplane mode the entire time. Let's see what kind of data it captured.
The phone with airplane mode activated actually logged more locations and activities than the phone, and it also transferred hundreds of kilobytes of data to Google as soon as it was activated.
The only thing that's missing from this map is our stop at the Children's Hospital, but it still knows we were there. There it is. Exiting vehicle, 100% accuracy.
Through complicated user agreements and free software, Google gets users to sign away their privacy for nothing. They're even following you in the places that most people would expect total privacy: government buildings, a children's hospital, a private school, a church. Every move you make, every step you take, Google is watching you.
Now, in a statement to Fox News, Google did say users, in part, are free to opt out of the tracking. But we should note, when you opt out of the tracking, all the fun stuff stops working.
Yeah,
so
that's
then
true.
You don't get the alerts that your commute might be slow. So this is the technology give and take. It's this is really convenient. It's nice to know that, hey, there's an accident on your usual route to work. But then they also take in this other information.
You know, what I was really surprised about was the airplane mode. I always thought if you put your phone on airplane mode, it basically turns off the signal. What if you turn your phone off?
If you turn your phone all the way off, you're fine. If you put it in a Faraday cage, you can get those on Google or on Amazon. They're little bags you can put your phones in that block RF.
Oh,
that would stop a lot of what we got. But there's still technology to do this, but the one that did have Wi-Fi on but not connected could still see other Wi-Fi networks, and a lot of Wi-Fi networks are identifiable by their location. So it's there are lots of ways that Big Brother knows where we are.
You are the biggest geek. I just want to say.
You can tell from my fashion choices
love
in that.
him to death, but whoa. All right. I love you.
My VCR still blinks midnight.
Brett Larson, thank you very much.
Julie.
Well, arguments getting underway in a legal battle that could decide the fate of President Trump's border wall, and the judge behind the bench was at the center of a major controversy for candidate Trump. We are going to explain. Plus, here's a sneak peek of what to expect on tonight's Water's World.
Sean Hannity back in Water's World, plus Diamond and Silk and the Party Bros tonight.
In the modern world, it pays to switch things up. And when you switch to Esurance, you can save time, worry, hassle, and, yep, money. In fact, drivers who switched from Geico to Esurance saved hundreds. That's auto and home insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call.
Mom and Dad got a new car. It's not theirs, it's mine. Mine. And it always will be forever and ever.
The new RX 350L with 3 rows for 7 passengers. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Why should your business build a modern software factory? The new demand. Think about it. That retail store can't compete with this retail store running on an automated supply chain, analyzing trillions of actions to customize an experience, which now takes Bitcoin. But come on, you've got this, right? You're ready to compete, right? Well, TikTok, my friend. Who's going to help you supply this new demand? CA Technologies.
His memo shocked D.C. Now, Devin Nunes has powerful reaction on Sunday Morning Futures. Then, a White House aide and abuse allegations. How he breaks down the media's response.
This is an urgent message from the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. There is an emergency food crisis for elderly Holocaust survivors in the former Soviet Union.
This is a fight against time.
What we're dealing with is coming out, meeting someone who's 85, 90 years old, can't get around, has no food, has no water, and just wants to give up and die. And that's where we come in. We are called to comfort these people, to be a blessing to their lives.
For just $45, we'll rush an emergency survival package to help one desperate elderly person for a month. Call right now.
Call 1-800-235-9977.
In Ukraine, there's no support network. They don't have food cards or neighbors that come in to help. They're turning to us because they have nowhere else to turn.
Your gift is a lifeline to help these elderly Jewish Holocaust survivors, help them to live out their final years with dignity and love. Call right now.
Call 1-800-235-9977.
What I pray is that you won't turn your eyes, but you will look at their suffering, and your heart will be changed.